So I think it just reminds us that people are on social media because they want to be inspired, they want to be entertained, or they want to be educated. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so thrilled you are here with me today because we're talking about a brand new framework that I'm so excited to share with you. It's all about content capture, convert, and how to turn your followers into loyal customers. So if you have been posting and showing up and doing all the things, maybe even dancing in reels, but you're wondering, where are the sales? This episode is totally for you. So this content capture convert framework is something that I've been tossing around and talking about a little while now. So in this episode, I want to walk you through exactly what kind of content is moving the needle, how to capture those leads, and so we're not dependent upon the algorithm, and then of course how to convert those leads into paying customers that are going to be buying from you on repeat. So if that sounds good, let's go ahead and dive right in. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about content. And I think content is like this big, scary word for so many people because it means a lot, right? It could mean that we're creating content on our website. We're creating content on social media. We're creating content in emails. This is content right here. I'm recording a video as part of the podcast, which is also content. So when we think about content, there's many different avenues to go, but for the purpose of thinking about this framework, I really want you to know that not all content is created equal, right? You can continue to post every single day about all random things, but if your audience isn't connecting with you, it's kind of just noise. It's not going to stop their scroll. They're going to keep on scrolling. So when we think about content, first off, let's talk about the type of content we're creating. I like to talk about long form content, and then I like talking about short form content. And the reality is you need both, but they also pair really nicely together. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. So long form content could be a blog post, it could be a podcast, it could be a video, it could be something that's more than a couple paragraphs at length. So it could be, 5 ways to style this season, or 3 things I bet you didn't know about this brand, or let me tell you behind the scenes of my business and what a day in the life looks like. All of that's a little bit longer form content is going to be really valuable. And the reason why I love long form content is that you want that long form content to live somewhere. So where do we want it to live? Ideally, we want it to live on your website. So you guys know, big fan over here of Oh My High, our system that we have created specifically for direct sellers, but also works for small business owners, creators, to have a hub for all of your content. So even if you're creating a video or doing a live on Facebook, download that video. If you're creating a video for YouTube, perfect. Grab the embed code from that video, transcribe those videos, and have some written content to go along with that video content. So this long form content is really the foundation. And when you think about this podcast and what we do every single week, this is a perfect example of it. We create long form content, high value. We're embedding that video on our site. We're writing a blog post to go along with it. Then here's where the magic happens. We're taking that long form content and breaking it down to short bite-sized pieces, otherwise known as short form video. And here's the thing about short form video. On social, it's what's getting the most visibility among non-followers, and it's also a top of funnel strategy. So it's one of those things that kind of pulls people into our world by bringing them in from our social media feed, right? We don't want to just keep them on social. We want to bring them into our world. So if you first start with this long form content, then you can take it and create maybe 3, 5, 7 short form pieces from it. Maybe as a post, maybe as a short form video, maybe as a carousel, maybe it's a reel. Like, you have lots of options of what that content ends up looking like. But I want to talk about that whole process when it comes to content, because more often than not, direct sellers are starting with the short form. They think it's easier, right? So I got to make a post today. Let me go create something. So it's a one-off thing over here and a one-off thing over there. And maybe we're grabbing some company graphics, or we're repurposing or being inspired by something we saw someone else do, but it's only living out on social. And while that's great, and we want to leverage our social platforms to bring people in, we also want that longer form content to live somewhere. We want it to be in that hub of a website, because the reality is that visibility of that content is going to grow over time being on your website. Versus on social, it's going to decline over time when, you maybe have a shelf life of 48 hours on your short form content. So do we need both? Yes. Can they work together nicely? Absolutely. Can you work smarter, not harder, by creating this long form content and then breaking that into smaller pieces to fill out your social strategy to hook in people across all these different platforms? Absolutely. So when we talk about content, first I want you to think about long form, then I want you to create short form. The cool thing here is you really just need one big topic a week that you're talking about or you're writing about, and you have your total social plan covered, and then you're going to repurpose that across different platforms. Now, before we move away from content, I have to tell you, I am super excited that CinchShare has announced they now have a free plan. So you all know that we love CinchShare over here. They sponsor our podcast. We are huge fans. It literally is an open window on my browser all the time. CinchShare allows you to repurpose your content. So even if you're creating your content over on TikTok or on Instagram, you can download that content, throw it back into CinchShare, and then we're going to go ahead and distribute it to YouTube Shorts. We're distributing it to LinkedIn. We're sending it over to Facebook. We're sending it to Instagram. All of those different platforms have different audiences, and you never know when you're going to catch somebody else's vision when you're sharing across those platforms. So big fan of CinchShare, but even if you want to just check it out, you can hop right in, check out their free plan. You'll have access to their keyboard, their content library. You can share with others there. And then when you're ready for it, level up and use it as a scheduling tool for all of your social content. So when we're talking about content, start long form, go short form, repurpose it. Now, the next thing I want to share around content is a little experiment that I've been doing behind the scenes. And, I'm real TikTok famous over here with my 85 followers. But the reality is I started a secret TikTok account. I guess it's not so secret if I'm shouting it from the podcast. But I created this TikTok account with the intent of building it around my personal brand, Becky Launder. Oftentimes between us, I feel a little conflicted. I got Oh My High over here. I got Modern Direct Seller over here. Got a lot shaken in our business. And sometimes I just want to post whatever I feel like posting, and it doesn't always fit in one of those two categories. So I've launched this Becky Launder TikTok account. Come say hi to me and laugh at me over there. But the reason why I did that was to really test out part of my content. So of course, I'd love to grow that account and make it something big, but I'm also looking at the visibility of my content. And what I've learned in a very short period of time, this experiment started at the beginning of October, so it's still very fresh, only a couple weeks in, is that I'm getting somewhere between 800, 900, 1,000 upward views on TikToks that I'm creating with only 85 followers. So I'm getting 10 times the visibility of my content on TikTok versus sharing that exact same content over on Facebook and Instagram, where only a fraction of my followers are seeing it. So from a straight math perspective here, the reason why I really think that there's some opportunity is the algorithm is showing your content to more people. That's more eyeballs. That's more people that can check out what you're creating. So even if TikTok's not your primary platform and you're creating on other platforms, I want to challenge you to show up there. And especially if you're using a tool like CinchShare, you're just going to go schedule it to that platform to get more eyeballs on your content. Why the heck not, right? So again, another way to work smarter, not harder. We want to cross-post, repurpose content all the time. The other thing that I'm really noticing over on TikTok is that if I'm sharing anything that's really trending, like Taylor Swift's new album, or if I'm doing something that's pretty entertaining, like taking my daughter to Home Goods and laughing about all the weird things there, I'm getting much more visibility. So I think it just reminds us that people are on social media because they want to be inspired, they want to be entertained, or they want to be educated. And I will be the first to admit that I overeducate my audience. I can't help myself. I just want to teach, I want to train, I want to tell everyone how to do everything. And the reality is I got to mix up that content a little bit more, right? I've got to do some things that are going to entertain, inspire, get people excited, and reel them in on the other side of the content that I want to offer when it comes to business after they get to know me as a person. So it's been kind of a fun couple weeks of playing around. I've spent more time on the TikTok app than I would like to admit, but that's how we learn. That's how we grow, is we try something new, we see how it lands, and of course we have an Oh My High and a Modern Direct Seller TikTok account too, but I haven't given it a whole lot of love. I've really just kind of cross-posted things that we've already shared on other platforms. So now I'm really trying to kind of get a good feel of what's working over there. And again, that entertaining content, that inspirational content, that educational content, that's really what people want. And you have to have a little bit of a balance of all of it. So I'm finding my groove. If you want to kind of be a fly on the wall and come watch, or maybe not a fly on the wall, maybe comment on all my things and tell your friends to follow me. Come hang out with me over on TikTok. So that was a little bit of a sidestep story there when it comes to content, but that's where my head is at when it comes to content right here today. So we got our long form content, we got our short form content, and then we're putting it out on as many platforms as we can to get as much visibility as possible. So let's move on to the second step in this framework, which is called the capture step. Now, I'm calling it capture, like a lead capture the flag, capture the people. No, we're really focused on capturing contact information. So with a website, you're able to create a form, and on that form, you can capture leads. That is the goal, right? Is that we want to take people from social media and all of this great content you're creating, and we want to capture those leads. Maybe they're discovering your content on your website through search. They're landing on your website. We want to capture those leads so we can connect with them. So a couple things when we're capturing leads. You really don't need that much information from people. You need to know their name and you need to know their email. If you're feeling really ambitious, you could ask them a key question to open your eyes about who they are, or you could also ask for their phone number. So one thing that we're testing out over with Oh My High right now is rather than just collecting the name and email, we're also asking people where they're at in their website process. Are they thinking about a website but don't have one, have a website but hate it, or they love their website and they just want to learn more? That's allowing us to segment our audience, right? So when we think about capture, we want to make sure that every single piece of content we are sharing has a clear call to action. And part of that call to action is a way for them to engage with us further, which is for them to put their contact information in a form in that capture process. That right there is going to allow you to begin nurturing that conversation with that new lead. So I am a big fan of email marketing. I've done episode after episode talking about the power of email marketing and how valuable it is to get new leads on your email list. Those leads are there waiting for you. When they fill out a capture form, they are the hottest leads you're probably ever gonna have. They've just binged some of your content. They think you're great. They were willing to cough up their email address to connect with you. Now is your opportunity to really wow them, right? So we throw them into a welcome sequence of emails they get based on their subscribe date. For many, this is somewhere between 7 to 10 emails that they're sending out on the regular to this warm lead. So that lead gets an opportunity to get to know you, and again, gets an opportunity to go deeper with you, to buy the thing, to say yes to the offer, to book the call, to order the item, right? So again, we're putting clear call to actions throughout this welcome sequence as we're connecting with people. And that right there is what's going to take that lead that we captured and move it into the third part of our formula, a conversion. So conversion is all around taking that follower, taking that lead, taking that person through the sales funnel is really what we're doing here, right? Top of funnel is our content. Middle of funnel is the people we're capturing. Bottom of sales funnel are those people that are ready to purchase. So we want to convert them into a new customer. Now, a couple of quick suggestions when we get to that conversion phase. If you are a small business owner, a direct seller that has some bandwidth, and I know we're approaching a very busy time of the year, this is your opportunity to really work your magic and connect with people one-on-one. If you notice somebody has opted into your emails, they've said yes, they've filled out that lead capture form, they're opening, they're clicking, they're engaging with your emails, but they have not yet ordered, hello, red flag right there. Let's take it to the next level and reach out personally, connect with them, send them a text, comment on it, their posts on social, ask them if you can help them make a decision about what they're looking to purchase, because clearly they're lurking and looking at this point. We want to move them into becoming a paying customer. So also during that conversion phase, this is an opportunity for you to give an offer. Share something that's irresistible that they want to say yes to. Maybe it's not something that you always have available, but for those people that are at that point in your sales funnel, you could give them a great offer. You can give them a discount code. You can give them a gift with purchase. It's always great if there's some urgency involved. So if you have an offer that's going away at a certain period of time, or that you only have a certain number available, that's exclusivity. We want to layer that in that conversion set of the framework. So we're really making this something that people want to get involved with, right? So again, we have awareness at that top of funnel. That's our content piece. The interest is in that middle of the funnel when you're capturing their contact information, and then converting is when they're making a purchase. Now, the best part of this is when we're thinking about our customer journey, this is a great way to kind of rinse and repeat, right? So we're constantly bringing in new leads into our business, but we're also still nurturing those existing customers. After they've made their first purchase, we want to love on them so much that they're going to make a second, a third, a fourth, and offer some referrals to you. This is a great way for you to expand your customer base. It's to gently guide those customers that have shopped with you and purchased from you, that love you, to invite them to refer a friend. And that is how we really build customers for life, right? We want to serve them. We want to love on them. We want to nurture them. And then once they sell, we're going to take really, really great care of them. So those conversions don't often happen by accident, right? Like I'd love to say, send the email, they're going to buy. Oftentimes it's going to take a conversation. What is that next baby step? Is it, hey, by the way, can I send you a sample? Or, oh, hey, by the way, can I send you my holiday gift guide? Or, oh, hey, by the way, you were taking a peek at that. I think you'd also love this, and it's a great value in this bundle. Those are the conversations that you're still going to have one-on-one, which is really where the magic happens. But it's allowing you to move people through that sales process essentially on autopilot until it's your opportunity to show up and connect. So again, that content is creating connection, capturing is building your email list, and then the conversion piece is really bringing it all together. You're not gonna have to work hard during that phase because people should be really warmed up and excited, and they're gonna want what you have to offer. You have something good. So here's the bottom line. You need a system that can work for you while you sleep, or while you go out to a vendor event or sell, or while you're on vacation, or while you're walking the beach, or while you're out on a date night. You need that system to work for you when you're not working. So I'd love for you to check out our free training coming up. It is called Get Found, Get Leads, Get Paid. Yes, please. It is over at ohmyhigh.com. We will link to it in the show notes. This is going to be a really fun workshop to teach you how to start building out that website, how to build out that system, that long form content that's actually going to sell for you. So with that said, I love sharing this framework with you. I can't wait to dive into it deeper and bring some real life examples to show you how others in your field are doing this in a really effective way. So if you found value from today's podcast, please drop a screenshot, tag me on social at Modern Direct Seller, give me a shout out over on TikTok at Becky Launder, and tell me what you learned today. And let me know if you are going to be at our workshop. It is happening October 29th, which is right around the corner. So shoot me a message and just say, I'm coming to the workshop. I would love to hear from you. And I'd also love to hear what questions you have on this topic. If you have a question, I'd love to call you out and share it during the workshop on the 29th. I aim to serve and show you how this system can really work for you. So definitely don't hesitate to let me know. Okay, listen to the podcast and I have a couple questions. Tell me how to do this or that. I will give you a personalized response back, and I would love to share it during our workshop as well. So with that said, thank you so much for being here today. I am cheering you on through the fourth quarter as you're creating content, you're capturing leads, and you're moving those followers and lurkers into converting them into paying customers. So with that said, get out there. Let's go make it a great day. Thanks, everyone. Talk to y'all soon. This episode is sponsored by CinchShare. CinchShare is the #1 social media scheduler for direct sellers and loved by creators in any industry. It's truly your one-stop shop for all things social. Join hundreds of thousands of social sellers and entrepreneurs who turn to CinchShare for free social media training and resources. Get started today with your free 30-day trial at moderndirectseller.com/CinchShare.